good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Re-Evolution 2.0 Relio Andes International Video Conference for English Language Educators. My name is Angelica Velez Palacios, and I'm from Ecuador. I'm an English teacher facilitator of AL Ecuador, and I'm so extremely happy to have the opportunity to talk about our project. And I'm also extremely excited to be here to have this community of educators from all around the world in order to interchange our meaningful teaching experiences among us. So the topic of my presentation is collaborative planning in teaching teams in Ecuador Habla Inglés program. And as you can hear and you know specific about this topic, this is a new presentation with a new approach or improvement on an existing idea. Although collaborative work is not new in the teaching learning process, the improvement provided in this presentation may assure you teachers to harness the strengths and the individual creativity of each participant in the team. Our specific aim is to motivate you to give you a try, not just in a lesson planning, but also through all the process. So we are going to go through the preparation, lesson delivery, and reflection of the lesson. Before going on with the conference, I'm going to invite you to apply our first poll in order to have an interaction with the audience. So let me ask you the first question to check the pre-knowledge of the topic. So please, Dana, help me showing the poll. Thanks so much. Is the poll done? Can we start with the poll, Dana?
Sorry, can you see it here on the right?
Yes, please, the audience, can you help me checking and going to the part that says sondeos or survey? And let's apply with the first question that it shows up there. Which principle do you consider the most important for collaborative work? So we have three different options here: commitment, respect, and responsibility. So you're going to have a couple of minutes, around 2 to 3 minutes, to go ahead and finish this survey. So please, the poll. Let's start. Does everybody can get the access to the poll? Yes? Okay, and during the time that we are generating this conference, we're going to find the specific answer through this question. And you're going to find it easily which one is the most important collaborative work stage. Okay, so let me find your answers. Dana, can you check if this is done already?
Here I can see on the right-hand side, commitment 60%, 3 votes, respect 1 vote, and responsibility 1 vote.
Okay, so let's wait the rest of our attendees and the audience. Please go ahead and try to finish as soon as possible. Meanwhile, I'm going to continue with the explanation. So
please, sorry to interrupt you. If you could please go to sondeos. In Spanish, it's sondeos, or in English, poll. And there you can choose your answer. Okay.
Thanks so much, my dear Dana, for that information. So here we go. So what does collaborative work practice mean? According to Camacho 2016, he defines collaboration as a philosophy of interaction where individuals are responsible for their learning actions by respecting the abilities, contribution of their peers. Additionally, we have Bolahi 2017 that show that collaborative learning is an approach employed by instructors who facilitated the learning and improved learning performance. And Ecuador Habla Inglés project is not a section. We actually work with 5 main stages of the collaborative work that makes our project meaningful. And it starts with the people, And in this case, it is related to the teacher facilitators who are in charge of the different levels of the cycle. So they are well-prepared educators who got the CITVET's TESOL certification. The next stage we have it here is the leadership. And it deals with the ethic, the empathy, authenticity, the brands of enthusiasm, confidence, inspiration, and the excitement in the communication among peers. The next one is technology. And it is crucial in our program because we use it as an important tool to get our students engaged with the virtual learning environment. It really helps us to keep interaction in our language and also in the lessons applying with the different learning digital apps. The process that we use is based on active and communicative learning focused on the student center and communicative language teaching activities. The information is gathered from the Ministry of Education of Ecuador. These digital modules goes from the basic to the baccalaureate levels, and also the higher levels that goes from B1 to B2 are done in our personal training books for these specific levels. So please, Dana, the next slide. There you go. For me, it's very important to explain to you what is our project about. So let me show you a summary about this specific and wonderful project. So Ecuador Habla Inglés is a project focused on the public education, teachers of the Ministry of Education, sponsored by the USA Embassy funds. So they create a letter which was in a collaboration letter, and it was taking place on November 2019. And this cooperative letter was with the collaboration also and support of AIL Ecuador. The first cycle started in Manabí and Santo Domingo, and those were provinces of the coast. And this specific cycle started with these zones with 213 participants on June 8, 2020. Maybe you wonder why it was viral, because of the pandemic in this time, but we started since 1920. We have to go through from the presential in order to change to the virtual synchronous classes through the use of the Zoom platform. Why Zoom platform? Because we were looking for a very useful platform in order that the students can handle it easily. Then we have 5 different levels. We started with 5 different levels from A1.2 to B1.2. But because of the good results and the great demanding of the students, we increased these levels to B2.1 until B2.2 levels. And of course, everything was because of the collaboration of the USA Embassy and AIL Ecuador. Dana, can you help me with the next one of the slide? Thank you. So talking about Ecuador Habla Inglés, we specific talks about the implementation of the teaching professional training. And as I told you, all our English facilitators are well trained, and every cycle we need to go through different workshops and also different conferences that help us to get our efficient and meaningful methodological practices. Also, it is important to mention that each one of the courses go with 80 hours with 3 different cycles of 5 months. The linguistic training, we was supposed to do it with in order to get from the very beginning levels until arrive the B2 level, 500 to 600 hours. And our specific schedule started from Monday until Thursday at 4 p.m. So we were trying to look for a very specific time that our students get involved with us without any excuses or any problem from their works. Thank you, Dana, for the next slide. There you go. And maybe you wonder how to make it this lesson planning very meaningful because of the collaboration work in terms of the lesson planning, as I already mentioned. It is very important to have a commitment among this group of members of the lesson planning teachers. So teacher instruct the same level in Ecuador Habla Inglés. This group of members of the facilitators, they start to share different hangouts and lesson planning resources, digital apps, and they produce this wonderful and effective, great teaching process. Of course, the cooperation is the key, which contributes a better lesson delivery. Please, Dana. And you wonder, do you already have a first cohort graduation? Yes, of course. You totally can see here that currently there is a graduated cohort of students ready to take the ITEP examination. This is an international examination in order that they get the V2 International Certified Teachers. And our students are gonna take the examination this coming October 31st. So we hope all of them get the goals and all our dreams come true. The ceremony was handled on September 21st, and it was transmitted by Facebook. There you go, guys. So it was a little presentation of what is Ecuador Habla Inglés project. But now we're going to continue with the most specific things, the important things that was the progress of this process of the lesson planning, and how can we do it and apply in our teaching experience. So here we go, my dear Erick. It's an honor to me to have you here and sharing this wonderful experience that we already live in Ecuador Habla Inglés. So please feel free to start.
Okay, please. Sorry to interrupt you. I want to present Erick. Erick Pacheco Delgado is a CELTA certified and higher education teacher at ULEAM, Ecuador. He has been teaching for 15 years, and now he will continue with the presentation of collaborative planning and teaching teams in Ecuador Habla Inglés program. But I don't see Erick right now.
Sorry for interrupting, Dana. Can you please admit him? He is trying to go into the section because he had a problem.
But I don't see him on the panel. Let me see. Wait, please.
Meanwhile, Elizabeth can continue with her speech. Dana, is that possible?
Yes. Sorry,
is it possible that Elizabeth go ahead with her speech?
Yes, I think so. I already did Elizabeth's presentation. Do you need a slide? Do you want me to change to a certain slide? What number would that be?
Please go to the part that is...
Okay, thank you for your help, dear Dana. Just let me see it, please. Just give me... It is slide 11, please.
Okay. There you go.
Okay, dear audience. Hello, my name is Elizabeth Castillo. I am very happy to be here. And while Erick is trying to solve his problem, I'm going to continue with something that I thought it was important to tell you after his presentation. But because of these kind of circumstances, I'm going to talk about the benefits that we could find in the teamwork we did during this process. Teachers, I'm going to start with this, and let's think about it. Coming together is a beginning. Keeping together is progress. Working together is success. Henry Ford. Please, Dinah, can you help me with the next slide? So these are the outcomes that we could find during this time. Remember that this experience is a personal experience for us. It's real information that we want to show you. Among all the benefits that we could find with collaborative work, we can have this just like a short summary, but I am sure that you will find a lot more. So about time, you can take advantage of time. You will make deeper analysis of the material you have. You will get diversity tasks created by different teachers. You will get and provide peer feedback and also co-evaluation during this time.
Please, Elizabeth, I'm really sorry to interrupt you. Could you please tell Eric to refresh? Maybe that's the problem.
Okay.
I'm really sorry.
Please.
Dana, are you ready? So go ahead, Elizabeth.
Thank you, Angie. Thank you for your help. Thank you. So I was talking about the flexibility.
Sorry, Dana, I don't know if the rest of the audience can observe the slides, but can you refresh again the slides, the Hangouts? Because I don't see it. Elizabeth, can you observe the slides?
Yes, I can. Now they are loading.
Fantastic. Okay, there you go.
Okay, I was in slide 12. Please, dear Dinah. Okay, I was talking about the flexibility that we could find during this process for teachers as well for students. And I think the most important part, the friendship. But let's talk about a little more specific of each one. Please, the next slide. Thank you, Dinah. When I told you about make a deeper analysis of the material, it's because as teachers, we know that every class is a new challenge for us. So collaborative work lets us to get innovative and creative activities to come to class and show our participants. It is important to take into consideration the quality of the material that we have to show them, to get them involved and take the best parts of the readings, recordings, articles, vocabulary, grammar that we use during the process. It is important also to think about that we have to be aware and avoid monotony for teachers as well as for students. Taking into consideration that most teachers here in Ecuador have extra jobs, extra activities, family, students, participants, etc., we have to take advantage of the time that we can save and provide for the tasks that we have to plan for our classes. And please don't ever forget, collaboration divides the task and multiplies the success. Here we have Erick. I don't know if I should continue, Erick, or maybe you would want to give your information and then I can continue. It's your
okay,
decision.
good. Yeah, thank you, Elizabeth.
We're
Yeah,
happy
I'm sorry.
to have you here now.
Okay, Dana, can we move back to the previous slides? Yeah. Next one. No. The next one. Yeah, that's the one. No. The previous one. The previous one. Thank you. Thank you, Dana. And I'm really sorry, dear audience. I have some internet issues. But anyway, life happens and we have to deal with it. Anyway, let me start explaining that our lesson plans in our collaborative work are based on the framework models taught at the SID TESOL certificate practices course conducted by EIL Ecuador. And in this course, teachers learned methodologies, and of course, in these methodologies are based on student-centered frameworks. In this case, the lesson plans that we apply for the programs are the ECRIF, the PDP, and the writing framework. Dana, can you move to the next one, please? Let me explain you more about these models very quickly. So these frameworks, as I told you before, are student-centered, in which not only the learners can process and focus on the different tasks that they have to solve, but also they are activities that are moving from control to less control to free practice. And in this case, we have for speaking lessons, we have one framework, which is the ECRIF framework. ECRIF stands for Encounter, Clarify, Remember, Internalize, and Fluently. And as I told you, they are moving from activities that are more controlled by the teacher, and they are moving to less control and then to free practice. The same situation happened with the listening and reading. They are using the same model, the PDP model. This model stands for pre, during, and post. In these activities, students are practicing the language, the text or the audio from preparation. And then in the during stage, they have 3 moments in which they have to understand and show understanding of the text or the audio. And finally, they produce something, either speaking or writing, according to the target language. And in the writing framework, so they produce a piece of writing in which they first have to prepare, brainstorm the ideas that they are going to write. Then they move to the drafting, the first draft of the letter or the piece of writing they have to produce. Then they revise, they edit, and finally there's an extension work for this framework. These are the lesson plans that we have to prepare as teacher facilitators in Ecuador Habla Inglés program. Now, Dana, if you can move to the next slide. Taking account these lesson plans, as teachers, we have to use our creativity to prepare online material that help us to be more interactive in our online lessons. And this is the key of our work. Angelica, Elizabeth, and we have another facilitator, Rommel. We collaborate by trying to prepare lessons or activities that are interactive by using the different tools, online tools that we have as teachers, like quizzes, EducaPlay, Padlet, Newport, Mentimeter, Wall, all of them, to avoid the monotony when doing the exercises. Because sometimes as teachers, we run out of ideas when we have to prepare lessons. We say, okay, I'm going to use the same website, I'm going to use the same activity, and maybe that's going to be really, really stressful for us as teacher facilitators. That's why we reduce our stress when we don't have to overthink about teaching ideas, because the four of us collaborate together with different tasks or activities. Now, Dana, please, can you move to the next slide? Now, let me explain about the process of our collaboration. Well, first, as teacher facilitators, we have our platform that is in Canvas. Canvas is an excellent platform for teaching. And we over there have our sample lesson plans. Here I have to mention that thanks to Gracie, Aleli, and Adeline De Angelis, they are the coordinators of Ecuador Habla Inglés program. They help us with these sample lesson plans in which the objectives are created. And what we have to do is just to develop the different exercises. Once we check the sample lesson plans on Canvas, individually, we choose the activities suggested according to the frameworks, as I explained before, the writing framework, the ECRIF, or the PDP framework. Then, when we create or choose the activities suggested in these plans, we lay out the lesson plan individually on our own. So we just design the lesson plan, and then we once the plan is created, we also create the online tasks on the different learning platforms that I shared before. Once this platform or the activities in the platform are done, we share the plan and links with the facilitators through a WhatsApp group. We send the plan, we send the links, and we also explain if you have any doubts or if you need some help, because maybe one of you doesn't know how to use a specific platform. We are there to help and to contribute with our facilitators, with our co-workers. Then we suggest that the facilitators may want to adapt some of their own ideas in accordance with their own groups. Because yes, groups are like different individuals, and maybe one activity can work for my group of students, but perhaps that activity can be adapted from the one that I suggested, and the other facilitators just can create with a different platform, or maybe just trying to change a bit what we presented. Then what we do is, of course, deliver the lesson. When we deliver the lesson, of course, so the interaction is really good. It's the teacher students that we have in Ecuador Habla Inglés, they feel really connected with the activities or the tasks they are doing. And yeah, so the participation increase a lot with this type of interactive tasks. Finally, when our lesson is done, when a week is finished, or when the month is done, we have our peer feedback, and maybe we just recommend some new ideas, what went well, what we could improve in our lesson plan. And yeah, that is the process of our collaboration with the teacher facilitators at Ecuador Habla Inglés. I have to mention also that this is a work that I haven't been used to doing previously. We don't know each other. I mean, physically or in person. I don't know, or I haven't met Angelica, I haven't met Elizabeth in person. But believe me that this type of work in which we just send and receive information, the plannings and things, is really, really good, beneficial for our teachers, students, and beneficial for us. Well, now Elizabeth already mentioned something related to the benefits that we had in this collaborative planning team. But let me just give you the word to Elizabeth again, and maybe you can keep saying everything about the benefits that we had with this collaboration. Thank you very much. And once again, thank you for my internet dropping. Thank you.
Dear audience, sorry to interrupt, but I would like to have a lot of interaction. So meanwhile, our dear Elizabeth is speaking about her topic, I would like that Erick and me can see all your comments and interact each other with you. So we're gonna ask you questions. So what's one word to describe your experience in lesson planning? Feel free to answer in the chat, just using one word. And there you go, Elizabeth. Please do not forget to answer the poll.
Thank you,
please.
Angelica. Thank you for the information, Erick. I thought it was very important to listen to your information and your explanation before I could tell you the benefits that I have been experiencing during this time. So, as I was telling you, teachers, we have so many benefits, outcomes found during this process. So please, Dana, can you help me with the slides? Go ahead. One. Thank you. Thank you very much. I was telling you about the analysis of the material, also the time. That is a very, very big issue for us, the teachers, in this current overwhelming time. But also, as Erick told us before, I want to tell you at this specific time that it is important for you to know that Erick, Angelica, and me weren't friends. We didn't have any relation before starting working in Ecuador Habla Inglés. But this time, this kind of work has led us to know each other, to share experiences, to share activities. And also, during this time, we have had a lot of good results with our participants. Just exchanging information, activities, and also I have learned from them. And I think I have given them good things to learn. It is important also to know that this relationship, this friendship, has led us to have enough confidence to give feedback to each other, give ideas, maybe how to improve our activities. And it is reflected not only in how we feel about this, and also in the results we got from our participants. And as I always tell you, don't forget, competition makes us faster, but collaboration makes us better. So please, for our next slide. Dina, thank you a lot. The diversity task created by different teachers. John Maxwell said, collaboration is multiplication. So if I have one idea and I am working with my partners, I am going to get 4, 5, and more ideas to be creative, to get new ideas, innovation. And these breakthroughs will harness and strengthen our process of teaching and learning. Also, we have to remember, teachers, that every person is a different world. All of us need different things at different times. But when we make a collaborative work, we can adapt, modify, and we can use them according to each necessity. Please, Dana. Which is our goal here in this conference? We think about this speech because what we want from you is to get motivated about this type of collaboration. Maybe we have to think about collaborative work more openly, not only when we work with our students, with our participants in class, virtually, just in groups, group configuration, work in groups, teamwork, but also we have to use it with our co-workers. We can also think about how we are going to work with my partners, how we are going to use teamwork to give a new vision of the things, use many different strategies to achieve our goals, to grow as teachers, as persons, as people, to research, to innovate, and to connect every other best parts that we can get. Enjoy as a total. So please think about this like not a new thing that we have, but maybe with a new vision of our teachers, teacher collaborative work. Please, Dana. And based on our first poll, teachers, what do you think about this? I don't know if the results were the same, where you think that commitment is the most important one. This is only a personal idea. I think commitment with our work, commitment with our participants, our students, is the most important issue when working in teamworks. But also, don't ever forget that respect on what we are doing every day and responsibility are the cues of our success. I don't know how is the poll. Do you still think commitment is the most important one? But it is respectable if you think responsibility, if you think respect, because it's how you focused your idea on this. But I think, well, for this time, respect, commitment, and responsibility are the cues for our success during this process. Please, Dana. And having nothing else to say, if you want, if you have questions, I am here to answer you. But I have to say thank you. Thank you for this great opportunity. Thank you, Real Andes Change. Thank you, Ecuador Habla Inglés in Ecuador. Thank you, Angelica, Erick, and all this incredible audience for this amazing opportunity. Thank you very much.
Dear Dana, is it possible to check now the results of the first poll? And then we can apply the second poll for the ending of the conference.
Now we have the second poll, but in the first poll, we had like 70% commitment and 20% on the second one, which was respect, right? Yes, and the third one had a little responsibility, was approximately 5%.
Thank you so much, Dana.
Okay. Yes, and now I don't know if you want to say something about it, because now we have also the second poll ready.
So maybe commitment is what teachers think about in collaborative work. Yeah.
Okay, now we are going to invite you to do the second poll. So we need your interaction. And if you have questions about this topic, please feel free to ask in the chat, use the chat. So we are able here to answer any requests or any doubt that you have about this topic.
And just to make sure you understand, the sondeos or poll is on the right-hand side, next to chat. You can see sondeos or poll if it's in English, and there you have the opportunity to be able to answer. There are 2 questions now.
There you go. So the next poll is about collaborative planning improve my interaction with peers. So what do you think? Strongly disagree, agree, or strongly agree? Feel free to answer, please. What is this about, and what is your opinion after hearing this wonderful topic?
And then, Angelica, Elizabeth, and Erick, there is a question in Q&A. Maybe there are 2 questions now. If you would like to answer those questions, would you like me to read them?
Please.
The first one says, from Andres Rodriguez, more than a question, I congratulate for this great presentation, and I want to request if it's possible to do more of these webinars for the English teacher community. So that's congratulations for you. And Adeline De Angelis, did you have any concerns about planning collaboratively? How did you overcome those?
Good. I don't know if Angelica and Elizabeth, maybe I can answer that question. Okay. Well, our concern sometimes is related to the time when we have to send the ready plans, when they are ready. Sometimes because we select one specific day to plan the lesson, sometimes because our other jobs, we are, I don't know, maybe with so much responsibility in our other jobs that we don't have the time to prepare the lesson and to send it in the day that we were committed to send it. Maybe that is our concern. What if I cannot send the plan that I promised to send it that day? Well, what we do is, no problem, if any other facilitator in the group has the plan ready, we use the plan which is ready to use it for replacing that day for the lesson plan. That's the way we overcome that kind of concern. And I don't know if Elizabeth or Angelica, maybe another concern about the planning.
Sure, absolutely. There is another concern that we have according to the lesson planning, and it is about when we have some troubles using the digital apps. So in this case, we try to use another one that we are very mastering in that. So things like that happens, but something that we find in a solution is the peer feedback. And here we go. This is the key in working in collaborative work. If you provide as much as communication, if we can send audios, we can send sometimes call, that is the most important, the cooperation among us. So I invite you to do it. This is very easy. At the very beginning, it's kind of difficult, but then it's going to help your life as teacher. So please feel free to use it. It's going to help you to conquer your goals in the lesson planning. And also, it's not just with you, but with the rest of the peers when you work in the same institution or in another school languages. Any other questions?
Angelica, Erick, just a very, very little point to add and remember here is that the word flexibility. in time, in activities, in apps, and that's the way we could work successfully. The flexibility according to our needs. Maybe is there another question?
Sorry, we don't have any more questions for now. We are looking at the points. I don't know if you would like to know what is going on there. There are two questions. The first question says, it's a statement. I feel comfortable when I provide peer feedback to my partner's plans. 57 strongly agree. 42% agree. And that's it. You have strongly agree or agree.
Fantastic. We hope that to have a very nice success with that, guys. Thank you so much for being here and hearing our wonderful explanation.
And wait, there's one more. Sorry, there's one more. Number 3, collaborative planning improves my interaction with peers. 77% strongly agree. 11 agree, and there's another 11 that strongly disagrees.
Thank you, Dana. Thank you so much. Thank you for your great support. And thank you all of the audience to be here and hearing the experience, the teaching experience of this group of teachers like you, that we are having a lot of excitement to work together. So we hope to see you next year. Elizabeth and Erick?
Thank you again for being here, and I hope to see you again.